Good early afternoon. We are live. Matt, who was it that said, what is this?
Vicky Akers.
Vicky Akers? This is what this is. we're looking at the scroll with the people coming in and all like that, and Vicky Akers said, "What is this?" So I told Matt, I said, "Well, tell her in 50 seconds she'll find out." But now you know, it's nothing. It's nothing. I'm Andy Andrews. You have joined us on the Blue Plate Special, a virtual extravaganza of excitement that we do here on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the Wharf from beautiful downtown Orange Beach, Alabama. We are in the financial district, high above the tallest skyscraper in Orange Beach. We're on the second floor of the Wharf, and we're glad you're here. We're glad you're here. The Wharf is a tourist destination, especially on a day like this. Well, maybe on a day like this, the beach is the destination. But if it rains, you see people just flooding in here. You know, I mean, it's like they got to have something to do. And here in Wisdom Harbor Studios, we have a studio audience here today. We do on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And a lot of times people come in and just watch us record. And we have the big fish bowl that I'm in right now. And television screens, and it's kind of a museum. We have all kinds of stuff here, and just come in and visit, and certainly walk around the Wharf and have your picture taken at the escalator statues. There's 4 escalator statues here at the Wharf. They are unbelievable. I mean, they're very lifelike, life-sized, and we urge you to take a picture of yourself on the escalator statues and post it online and tell people you visited us here. We got a great show for you today. We're going to talk about great deals. We're going to talk about some of the greatest membership deals available. And I think you're going to be surprised at some of them. Dina Kilpatrick, good afternoon. And thank you for sharing. We're here today. We're on wisdomharbor.com. We're on Facebook, on Twitter, X, whatever it is Elon's calling it now, on what is
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, yeah, LinkedIn. So all you people on LinkedIn, loosen your tie, join us here. Marcia Crosser Taylor, good afternoon. 52 and Wendy in Pasco, Washington, and you shared, thank you. Vicki Ann, you still here? What is this? Okay, well, just keep watching. Whatever it is you expect, this won't be it. Martin Simmons. Gomer says, hey. Kevin Perkins. How about you, old man? You're getting jittery now, aren't you? Aren't you? Because I think with turkey season coming in, you should be getting jittery. Mike Bird, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Margaret Davis Haupt from sunny Northeast Mississippi. You like my blue shirt? This is a Vortex shirt. Vortex Optics are one of our clients with creatingmeasurableresults.com. And have you seen? Did you see the podcast that came out today with Susie Pinkard? Now, you already? You got to get the book. You got to get the book. I mean, Stainless Steel Butterfly, Building a Strong Foundation So You Can Fly. I was just blown away with the book. And so I think it's great. Kimberly Petrucki, hey, how are you doing? From Dallas. Kevin Tim Perkins putting a picture of a turkey up there for us. Jill Fox Gray, I love your name. Don't you love that name? Jill Fox Gray. It's all one syllable. Jill Fox Gray. John Mason Smith. If you're wearing a tie, somebody died. Yeah, I hear you. Me too. Me too. Hey, I do want to tell you about this. This is something we're ready to get the word out about now. Got it? Okay. Since you read it, I don't need to tell you about it. No, I'm just kidding. This is on April 1st. We have finally gotten Michael Perry to agree to fly south. He is coming down from Wisconsin. Michael Perry is the New York Times best-selling author, the incredibly funny author. And so at the Floribama in the main room on April 1st at 6 p.m., Andy Andrews, that's me, Michael Perry, that's him, and Austin Gray, my son, Austin is going to be opening our show with some of his original songs. And then Michael Perry and I are going to have some conversations, and it's going to be a great show. I'm going to do some of my funniest stuff. Michael's going to do some of his funniest stuff. He's a singer-songwriter too. But this is going to be a great show, April 1st, and spread the word. Then April 2nd, Michael and I are going to be in Fairhope at Billy's Restaurant. And that's going to be at 5:30. It's going to be outdoors. If you've seen the podcast of Billy's Restaurant, Billy's Bacon, this is going to be awesome. So you got 2 shots to see Michael Perry and me, but you only 1 shot to see Michael Perry, me, and Austin. And so it's April 1st and 2nd, and we want you to join us. Chris Gold, greetings from north of Detroit. Tammy Nance, fun, you're right. And Marcy Crosser Taylor, it sounds awesome. It is going to be. All right, have you ever wondered, you see all these membership sites. You see all the things where you can earn or you can receive for free. And so we decided to do a little digging and to put some word out to ask some people, what is the best membership deal you've ever gotten? And so some of these, hey, Christy, did you just hear about the Floribama date, April 1st? Me, Michael Perry, and Austin. If you didn't, I want you to put one of these up in red and white. Okay, thank you. Where was I? Oh, about the membership sites and about how people, you think you're going to save money or you hope you're going to save money. And so we put the word out on what are some of your favorites. So we got some that we found on research, and we got some that people told us about. And there's some that I didn't think were that good a deal. And then there's some that I think are a great deal, and there's some I didn't even know about. I didn't know they existed. Now, here's one that I think is kind of odd. It's Taco Bell. They have a loyalty program at Taco Bell. And for only $10, loyalty program members receive 1 free taco a day for 30 consecutive days. Okay, now, let me just, that's how they put it. Let me just say, for $10, you receive free tacos. What's free about paying $10? For $10. And so basically those tacos are 30 cents a piece, and you have to eat them every day.
It's going to be a rough month.
That's going to be a rough month, man. But that, I guess maybe that sounds, I'm thinking their thinking has got to be, we'll give them 1 taco a day, but nobody can exist on 1 taco. So they'll probably only take advantage of this like 6 or 7 times, and they'll have to buy more. So I vote, who is that a good deal for? I think that's a good deal for Taco Bell. That's who I think that's a good deal for. I loved this one. I thought this was pretty interesting. I'm a scuba diver, this person says, and for $75 a year, I get extra insurance in case I have an accident while diving. They pay for medical evacuation. They have a dive doctor speak to the ER doctor if they don't know how to treat me, and they help coordinate getting me into a decompression chamber if I need it. My health insurance won't cover any of that. I think the $75 is a great deal. I mean, if it covers a doctor I mean, you have your dive card, don't you?
I do.
Would you know where to go for a decompression chamber?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think $75 just to have somebody coordinating where you get your decompression, But I mean, I don't know.
I bet
that whole thing seems odd to me. It's like, I need to decompress.
Well, I bet even having a doctor that's dealt with that stuff talk to like a doctor that maybe hasn't would be good. You know, you get air bubbles all trapped onto you. The doctor's like, just poke them with a needle, let it out.
Right. Oh my God. You know where the number one dive site in the world is now?
No.
Pensacola.
No way.
The Oriskany. It's what do you call a aircraft carrier that they sunk, and it's about 20 miles off Pensacola, but it's the number one dive site in the world and one of the most dangerous. When they sunk it, it actually landed like it floated. It landed, with its bottom on the bottom. And so the reason that they're saying the reason that it's turned out to be so dangerous is they sunk it. I forget what the depth was. I think it's like 200 feet of water. And so most divers are like, most sport divers are competent down to like 60 feet, right?
Yeah, and then you have to be, I think you get your advanced certification once you get down to about 100.
So you're advanced at
Oh yeah, you're probably breathing nitrox if you're going down to 200 feet.
Well, here's the thing. The ship is in 200 feet of water, but it's sitting on the bottom, and the superstructure of the ship, the tower, where the bridge is and everything, comes up to about 170 feet. And so they have a lot of people that are going down to about 100, and they see that thing right there, and they go, it's just right there. I'm just going to go just right there. And then I do know there's a couple of decompression chambers at hospitals in Pensacola.
So you'd say it's a risky to go down there.
Oriskany. It is a risky Oriskany. That's exactly right. So, but $75 insurance. You know how I keep myself safe with that kind of thing?
Don't go.
Yeah, I don't go. I just don't go. Same way with sharks. They say you got a better chance of dying from a bumblebee than dying from a shark. I've got 100% better chance of dying from a bumblebee because I don't go in the salt water. I mean, I just don't. I don't swim in it. Here, and you want to know why? Here, I'll show you exactly. That's my son Adam releasing a 12-foot, 3-inch, 1,000-pound tiger shark he caught from the beach. That's exactly right. I mean, I smell salt water and I hear bam, 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 bam. Bum, 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 bum. I just like, that movie creeped me out. Okay, Here is a great membership thing. I thought this was great, but this is like, I would have never considered this. Okay, it's kind of like the scuba diving. All right, I live on an island in Alaska with limited health care. An emergency flight to a more capable hospital costs $50,000. For $100 a year, I save $49,900 if I ever need their services. That $100 covers everyone living under my roof. There's no limit on the number of flights, and seniors pay $75. Of course, the flight isn't a guarantee. Bad weather or the donated jet needing repairs can and does prevent you from being flown out. You know, flying in Alaska just doesn't seem... You know, they have those little bitty planes, and those guys are just like... Ah. I have some friends that... This was 20 years ago, before... Maybe 30 years ago, I don't know. This was before GPS and satellite phones. People had them, and so they were hunting in Alaska. And the pilot went down, dropped them off, and said, "I'll be back in 10 days." And my friend said, it didn't occur to me till I saw that thing go off into the distance. I hope this guy doesn't have a heart attack on the way back. Is this the only guy who has any clue where we are? That would have spoiled the trip for me right there. I'd have been, wait, come on, 10 days. All right. This is the weirdest membership. This is just weird. Okay. About 10 years ago, I was a member of the nudist resort that was near me. For 24-hour access to the resort and grounds. My price, for me, it was my country club, pool, big hot tub, gym, sauna. By my math at the time, all I had to do was visit 5 times a year to pay for it. I was there 2 to 5 times a week. Since it was a very rural area and not much to do, going there saved me money, as anything decently worth doing was an hour or more away. Also, since it was a nudist resort, most of the people that annoyed me were not apt to bother me. Perfect privacy to detach from the world. $175 a year. Now back that up, Matt. Back that up. Right in there, right there. All right. So since it was a very rural area, not much to do, going there saved me money, as anything decently worth doing. Decently, I think, being, that was a Freudian slip. That just seems weird. That just seems weird. Even though I guess the $175, you'd save a lot in clothes. You know, your clothing budget has got to be minimal. And this thing, that last bit, Matt, that last bit about the people who annoyed me were not apt to bother me. I think this person annoys me. And I don't know why I think this is a woman. Do you think it's a woman? Did y'all? How many of you thought it was a woman? How many of you thought it was a man? Really? Most of you guys thought it was a man? Now, granted, I thought it was an ugly woman, but I did. I thought that's an ugly woman. And, you know, you wouldn't want to bother an ugly woman at a nudist camp, would you? I guess. Okay, all right, let's get over this. Now, this is probably one of my top 3 favorite things, and this is around here, but you can just like be a member by signing up to their mailing list. But the National Naval Aviation Museum is right here. It's, you know, it's between Orange Beach and Pensacola. I mean, it's literally 20 minutes from the wharf. And that National Naval Aviation Museum, I'll bet you when our boys were growing up, I'll bet you we went there 100 times. And they never got tired of it. And frankly, Polly and I never really got tired of it either. It was just, it's that big, it's that extensive, it's that fascinating. And you know how much it cost? Nothing. It's free. And the parking is free. So it's right over here. And I'll tell you something else to do in connection with it. Go on that museum website, and maybe you go on the Blue Angels website too. But the Blue Angels, every week during the hot months, during the summer months, every weekend they are working somewhere. They're somewhere in America. And so there's one way you can see them is at 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon. If you're near the Floribama, they buzz the Floribama coming by. And man, they're at like treetop level. And you may wonder, why do they buzz the Floribama? Because Blue Angel pilots drink free. That's a great move by John McGinnis. That's a great move. But here's the other thing. Go on the Blue Angels website and look at their practice schedule, because it's once or twice a week during the summer in the mornings. They run a complete run through, and you can either get somewhere on the water that they're practicing over just near the base, or you can go to the base and stand around, not with 20,000 people, you can stand around with 100 people and watch them do the exact show. I mean, they're with them marching out, saluting the people that help them and getting in, the canopies coming down, the exact same show right there. And it's free. So that's like one of the best deals going down here. Most people don't even know about it. Okay, so National Naval Museum. That's it. Costco, $60 per year, but you can get a big membership for $120 a year. But Costco, most people think Costco, you know, for the chicken and the food court alone, it's worth it, you know. But we have one in Mobile that Polly goes to every time she gets her car serviced. And Matt gets those little Madeline things. That's where Polly gets those, at Costco. Oh. But Costco, are you guys big on Costco? My only problem with Costco is I can go in there just thinking I'm going to look around, or go in there just for one thing and come out with like 2 baskets full, pulling one and pushing the other. So, you know, Polly will come home with $400 worth of stuff. You're not going to believe how much I saved. Yeah, really? Okay, good. All right, so that's $60 per year to buy more than you would buy. Here is one of what I think is one of the greatest deals ever. And I'm still shocked at the people who don't do this. And that is TSA. The pre-check program with TSA. When you're flying and you're going through TSA, the security system thing, there's 2 lines. There's the long line and the short line. And the short line is for the people who have pre-checks. So it costs $78 to get your background checked, so to speak. And I mean, now they do it really easy. When I first did it, which was, I don't know, probably pretty soon after 9/11, man, they took an iris scan, they took fingerprints, they did everything. And I had to like go somewhere like Atlanta or Orlando or somewhere like that to do it. But you can get your pre-check now, $78, and get it done overnight. And it will save you so much time in the airport. Now, you still can't argue with the TSA people. You won't win that. I was at the softball game last night, and we watched, and the Orange Beach Lady Makos won 11-1. They mercy ruled the team. But we watched the coach of the other team arguing with one of the umpires, and I'm always amazed when I see that, because I'm like, do you think you're going to win? I mean, I can kind of see why a major league manager argues, because they're getting camera time, and so the more well known they are, the more they get paid. But I can't see a high school coach getting into an intense argument with an umpire, because it's like arguing with TSA. You're not going to win. You're not going to win. You can make them mad, but you're not going to win. But I just saw that last night. Meanwhile, the Lady Makos were cranking. They're playing Pace tonight. So if you want to come to the game, it's at 7 o'clock. It's right over here at the stadium. 7 o'clock. We are the number 7 team in America, and they are number 3. So considering 20,000 high schools in America, what are the odds that 2 top 10 teams would be able to play each other in a regular season? But whew, let's all bow our heads and pray for the Lady Makos right now. Okay. Cooks Illustrated website. Polly is big on this. Okay. So full access to Cooks Illustrated recipes in America's Test Kitchen and Cook's Country. Their recipes are great. They're better than 90% of the stuff that you can find. It's $29.95 per year. And that subscription for Polly includes me being shut out of anything on the television on Saturday, because she's sitting there watching Cook's Country and the Test Kitchen and who's the guy in New Orleans? I like this guy too. Who is the guy? He's got kind of a funky name. I'll think of it in a minute. I'll think of it. Like Pookie's Kitchen or something like that. What is it? Now that's just going to drive me crazy. All right, let's move on. I hate to admit it, but Amazon Prime, I think it's worth it. It's $139 a year, or like $14.99 a month or something like that. But just to have the next day delivery on stuff is worth it. And they also have, the Amazon Prime, the viewing, the video thing, but now they've added commercials to that. So that kind of stinks. Here's one we got in. I thought this was curious. I have a subscription for air filters for the home. It's from filtereasy.com. It's one of those things you always forget to replace. Then when you see them at the store, you forget what size you need. That's exactly right. With the subscription, the correct ones come in the mail every 3 months like clockwork. So you get quarterly filters at $10 per month per filter. Is that a good deal? The filter
Sounds like you're paying
filters cost $30.
per filter. Then I'm not sure.
That doesn't seem like a good deal, does it? It is a good deal? I guess it might be a good deal because you're getting them delivered and you actually change your filter. So, best one that I can think of, public library card, free. I mean, you know, that's got to be great. Now, YouTube Premium. Some people are big fans of this because YouTube Premium allows you to view YouTube without the ads. I probably am on YouTube 5 times a week. But the ads don't bother me that much because you go, you can skip them after 5 seconds. But you can get YouTube Premium without ads for $13.99 a month. I vote no on that. You don't do that, do you?
No. It'd be hard to get me to pay for YouTube. I don't know why. I don't spend enough time on it, and just being that it started free, I'm like, you're not gonna get me to change.
Yeah. $13.99 a month. And I mean, they have 1 billion users. Whew. How about Audible? Do you guys use Audible? Yes? No? Still have CD players in your car? You do? I wish I did. Audible, you can pay for Audible. The plan gets a monthly credit, okay? And so you get 1 credit a month, one book a month. And this person that mentioned this said they always take at least that long to listen on their commute, and they cost at least as much as the membership. The membership is $150 a year, so that's like $12, $12.99 something a month. And I do this because, well, last year I listened to 170, 180 books on Audible. And so with the credits, you can buy additional credits for like $12. And most of the books are $24. And so it seems to save a lot of money for me. And Audible has a section on there that comes with your membership, and the books are free. I mean, and it's a large section. I mean, I'll bet you for every book that I pay for, I listen to one for free. You know the Zane Grey books I've been listening to? Mm-hmm. The fishing books? Those are all free on Audible.
Wow. That is so crazy, though, that you listen to, on average, about 15 books a month. Is that right? Somewhere around there?
Yeah. And I probably read 2 or 3 a month. But I listen to like probably, 15. Wish I had my phone in here, but what is today? Today is
Tuesday the 12th.
Since Sunday, I'm on my 3rd book. Since Sunday. But I listen to them all the time. I mean, people say, well, I don't have time to listen to them. Really? I listen to them if I'm walking to the mailbox. So
making a sandwich.
I do.
I know.
And you know that because you've seen.
You go in there and close the door, and you can just hear.
I know. I eat lunch, and I'll just run my audiobook. Well, or when I'm fixing my sandwich.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Now, Barnes & Noble. Listen to this deal. Tell me what you think about this Barnes & Noble deal. An annual membership with Barnes & Noble is $39, and it includes a 10% discount in Barnes & Noble stores. And for every $10 spent, members receive 1 stamp. And after receiving 10 stamps, you get $5. I mean, somebody at Barnes & Noble was reading a book about P.T. Barnum or something. I mean, I'm thinking there's a sucker born every minute here. We can get him. Does that doesn't even, I don't even have to think about that. Does that even remotely sound like a good deal? $39. And for that, you get a 10% discount. Have you ever gone on Audible and seen anything that wasn't discounted more than 10%? I mean, gone on Amazon and seen anything that wasn't discounted more than 10%? But $39 gets you a 10% discount at Barnes & Noble and BarnesandNoble.com. And then for every $10 you spend, you get a stamp. And when you get 10 stamps, you get $5. And that's not even $5 cash. That's $5 you can trade in for a book. And I bet you don't get the 10% discount on that $5. Anyway, that sounds like a bad deal. Now, here's the last one. And this is truly the best deal of all. WisdomHarbor.com. Our streaming service, WisdomHarbor.com. Let me break it down for you. For 2 devices, for a couple or a single person, using 2 devices, is $27.99 per year. Now, this is for everything that Wisdom Harbor has. You're seeing it on the screens right here. This is an unbelievable streaming service that our stated goal is to create the next greatest generation. And we're doing that by creating conversations between grandparents and young people and parents and their children and teachers and their students. This is going into schools across America. And so for it to go into a school, it's $27.99 per teacher per year. Okay, that's $2.33 a month. That's 7.5 cents a day. And then if you wanted the whole family, if you got a big family, you want the whole family on it, up to 8 devices for $57.99. That's $4.83 a month, and it's 15 cents a day. And so you just can't beat that. And then when you look at the chefs, the Grammy winners, all the different things that are being presented by the different contributors that create conversations and that they're able to use in schools to augment history, to augment English, to augment creative writing, science, health, biology. There's nothing like this anywhere out there. And we've got these awesome people doing it. We wanted to play for you. There's at Wisdom Harbor, harbors have docks. And so there's a whole bunch of different docks available. There's the audiobooks dock. There's the Bet You Didn't Know dock, the In Other Words dock, the How Do I dock. On the How Do I dock, you can learn to make jerky, you can learn to juggle. Yeah, there's so many things. You can learn to shuck an oyster. There's guitar lessons, and the guitar lessons are taught by Jimmy Yeary, who's a songwriter in Nashville with 14 #1 hits, 3 Song of the Year awards, And so it's a great site. But we thought you might want to see one of the pieces, and this is a history piece from the Bet You Didn't Know doc, and our contributor is Julie Richard. Julie is the CEO of Fearless Mom, which is a worldwide organization but based out of Austin, Texas. And so we just thought you'd like to see. This is one of those things that a family could play before dinner and have something to talk about at dinner. There's something that a teacher in school could play, class discussion. So here we go, Julie Richard with a Bet.
I know you've heard the term greatest thing since sliced bread. Bet you didn't know that sliced bread was once banned in America. It's true, but first, how did bread come to be pre-sliced anyway? The prototype for an automatic bread slicing machine was created in 1912 by Otto Frederick Rohwedder. After a fire in 1917 demolished both his machine and all the work surrounding it, Rohwedder had to start over almost from the beginning. And from the beginning was a long haul since the inventor had created his first machine without any notes. It wasn't until July 7th, 1928, that the Chillicothe Baking Company in Missouri first put Rohwedder's invention to use, saying it was the greatest forward step in the baking industry since bread was wrapped. Since bread was wrapped, so when you think about it, sliced bread was the greatest thing since wrapped bread. The front page of the local paper, the Constitution Tribune, proudly announced that sliced bread is made here. The idea of sliced bread may be startling to some people, the article stated. Certainly, it represents a definite departure from the usual manner of supplying the consumer with baked loaves. Sliced bread really took off in 1930, when the Continental Baking Company's pre-sliced Wonder Bread made its way into American homes. After a few years of aggressive marketing, the beautiful, symmetrically sliced loaves were synonymous with modernity and convenience. Soon, it seemed everyone had happily made the switch to pre-sliced bread. And all was well in kitchens all across America until 1943. In 1943, World War II was raging in Europe and in the Pacific, but at home in America, the moms, especially the ones who made sandwiches for their children's sack lunches, were facing a very different sort of challenge. On January 18th that year, the Secretary of Agriculture and head of the War Foods Administration, Claude Wickard, declared the selling of sliced bread illegal. Never mind that the American public felt as though another wartime indignity had been heaped upon them. Since sliced bread required thicker wrapping to stay fresh, Wickard reasoned that the move would save wax paper, not to mention tons of steel that was used to make the bread slicing machines. The ban on sliced bread was just one of many resource conservation campaigns during World War II. In May 1942, Americans received their first ration booklets, and within the year, things like rubber tires and sugar and even the green dye used in cigarette packages were in short supply. Many housewives were already holding down factory jobs to keep the labor force from collapsing. And to them, Time magazine declared, the ban on sliced bread is as bad as gas rationing and a whole lot more trouble. The article in Time goes on to describe women fumbling with their grandmother's antiquated serrated knives, cutting lopsided slices, which even the toaster refused, followed often by a mad dash to the corner bakery for rolls. The backlash to the ban on sliced bread was immediate. Sue Forrester from Fairfield, Connecticut, in a letter to the New York Times wrote, "I should like to let you know how important sliced bread is to the morale and saneness of a household. My husband and 4 children are all in a rush before, during, and after breakfast. Without ready sliced bread, I must do the slicing for toast, 2 pieces for each. That's 10. For their lunches, I must cut by hand at least 20 slices for 2 sandwiches apiece. And afterward, I make my own toast, 22 slices of bread to be cut in a hurry." On January 24th, less than a week after the ban, the whole thing began to unravel. New York Mayor Fiorello LaGuardia made a public announcement that bakeries that already had bread slicing machines could continue to use them. Needless to say, this caused a rift between those bakers with slicing machines and those without. One baker, whose last name was Fink, also happened to be a member of the New York City Bakers Advisory Committee. Mr. Fink had publicly pushed for the ban, then was fined $1,000 for violating it. By March 8th, the government decided to abandon the wildly unpopular measure. The Associated Press made the announcement this way: "Housewives who have risked thumbs and tempers slicing bread at home for nearly 2 months will find sliced bread back on the shelves in the grocery stores tomorrow in most places." Claude Wickard refused to acknowledge the anger and power of housewives and bakers. He gave them no credit for the quick shift, saying only that the savings were less than anticipated, and it turned out there was enough wax paper to go around after all. In the end, no thumbs were severed, and Americans were reunited with the sliced bread they had learned to value so highly. By 1950, consumers were eating more than 6 slices of industrially produced bread every day, and the nationwide ban became a bizarre historical footnote, an event almost completely forgotten, but one that qualifies as interesting enough to be remembered at Wisdom Harbor. Bet you didn't know that.
Can't hear it? They can't hear it. You got me? You got me now? Okay, all right. So how's that for history that deserves to be remembered? That's one of those things, that's one of those great history stories that's just not in history books. That's not in any history books. And to give young people a sense of what their grandparents and their great-grandparents went through, just the everyday things. I think history, there's a lot of history that deserves to be remembered. And so that's what we're doing with Wisdom Harbor, just one of the many things that's being done. So that is our deal of the day. So if you haven't joined Wisdom Harbor, or you know somebody who hasn't joined Wisdom Harbor, come on. It's 7.5 cents a day. You want this. So thank you for being with us. We'll see you guys Thursday. Have a great day. The weather looks great.